This is the Captain's Jug of Thoughts podcast, recorded at the Ontario House, the Stone Jug.
All right, Captain's Jug of Thoughts. How you doing? What just happened?
So I'm standing outside out on the patio, and there's a police officer pulls into the back parking lot, which is relatively odd, you know. We're never really doing anything wrong, and I did actually know that something happened on Sunday when we had our last cookout, because we tell people that it's okay to bring, you know, their dogs and their kids and stuff like that. Well, some people had their dog here, and some woman was like fucking with the dog, like
Getting it all riled up and shit?
and he didn't like bite her, but he like snapped at her, and I guess he broke skin a little bit.
Because she was fucking with him.
Yeah. So, anyway, the officer was like, look, it's no big deal. Like, no one's pressing charges or anything like that. It's just that we have to file the report.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's totally understandable. He's like, so can you get this guy's information? And I was just like, yeah, because I don't really know the guy. This has never been an issue before. And, I mean, I do know that a handful of people were like, yeah, she was half in the bag, and she just kept like slapping the dog and like fucking with it, you know. And then finally, I think the dog just got pissed. like leave me alone.
The same way anybody would get pissed if some drunk lady was just fucking with you.
Exactly.
You'd, like, just bite her a little bit.
Right.
Like, hey.
So anyway, I don't really know these guys very well. I know that they just moved back here from Virginia. Like a few months ago, and that's exactly what I just told the officer, and he was like laughing about it. He was totally cool. He's like,
so why are the cops involved? Like, no one's pressing charges. Like,
because she went to the hospital just
to
get a rabies shot, just to be sure, because she didn't know them and didn't know the dog to make sure that it has its shots. So because she went to the hospital, there has to be a report filed. You know, so
they got you, man.
So anyway, everything's fine, but it was like,
well,
all of a sudden they're talking to these guys out in the back who I know, and all of a sudden they're all pointing at me, and I'm like, and I just put my hands up in the air like, what? And the officer comes walking over laughing. He's like, don't worry, you're not in trouble. And I'm like, well, I didn't do anything. I hope not.
That's so funny.
But they're all like, all of a sudden I just see them all look up at the deck, and they're all like pointing, 3 different people, and the officer turns around and he's like points at me and then just starts walking at me, and I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, dude, what the hell could I possibly have done? And he's laughing though as he's walking over. He's like, don't worry about it, man, he didn't do anything. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Like, I was trying to think through my head like, no, I have not done anything wrong. What could this possibly be?
That's so funny.
Yes.
Like a movie.
It was like a movie. I was like, why is everyone pointing at me? They're talking to the cop and just pointing at me.
Yeah, that's so funny. Like, you can't hear what they're saying, but they're talking to them, and you're like, what is that about?
I couldn't hear anything.
And they point at you, and then he looks up and points at you.
Yeah, because I was like, what the heck is this cop doing here? Like, I'm like, shit, man. I'm like, no one's called me, so nothing could have possibly happened, because I'm the first person that gets called immediately if anything at all happens.
Well, here's my perspective on the whole thing. I was just on the patio with you.
I know.
We were talking about something else, and I was like, all right, let's go do a little more. I came in here, I drank some water and checked my email, and I looked up, and you walked in, and you're like, you missed it. Like, all of this happened. I had no idea any of this happened.
Right. It was literally 3 minutes.
And I thought I heard voices. I thought it was the people downstairs. I was like, who are you talking to? And you're like, the cops. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
that's so funny.
So, yeah.
Don't fuck with dogs.
I know.
Just be cool and they'll be cool.
Dude, this dog is super cool, too. Like, just the most laid-back dog I've ever seen. Like, it just sits there like a bump on a log, you know? And so I was shocked when they said that it even snapped at her. I was like, are you fucking serious? I'm like, this dog's like so cool. And they're like, well, she was like really fucking with it, like hard, you know? And I was like, oh my God.
I saw a groundhog or a possum or something.
Just now?
Yeah, he walked alongside of the wall.
Huh. I would imagine that
I'll keep my eyes peeled. I'll keep you updated.
I would imagine it was a groundhog. If there was a possum, it could be rabid, because there shouldn't be possums out right now.
I'm assuming it was a groundhog. I just saw something move.
Oh, okay.
Well, it was funny last night. Weird Al was in town.
Yeah, I know.
And, like, it affects our day. Like, Pete was over and he was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Fucking Weird Al's in town. And there's a mob scene. And, like, we went out and did all this other stuff, and there's people everywhere. It's like most towns have, like, the bugs are bad this time of year.
Yeah.
Like, that's our day-to-day struggles. Fucking Weird Al's in town. It took me 20 minutes to get to Tops.
Right.
Goddamn Weird Al.
Yeah, and you have to, like, plan your route everywhere. Like, where do all the people that are not from our town, what streets do they not know about?
And you walk down the street, and you're like, everybody thinks I'm just going to see Weird Al.
Yeah, of course.
If someone gave me a ticket, I'd go. I was a fan back in the day.
Sure. When I was a kid, I definitely listened to him.
Remember UHF, that weird-ass movie? There was, like, a movie he did. And I'm pretty sure Kramer's in it.
Really?
Yeah. He's, like, being wacky.
Of course.
And it's Weird Al and his buddies get a TV station and do a bunch of crazy shit. It's funny.
Kramer's a hipster doofus.
Yeah, hipster doofus. I was watching the episode of Seinfeld where they get stuck in the parking garage.
Yeah.
They're walking around and you look at the way everyone's dressed.
Yeah.
You're like, Kramer's the only one who looks normal now.
Right. I
Like
know.
George has this giant puffy fucking red thing on.
That's right.
And Jerry, they're all dressed like, I don't fucking know, man. Like athletic post-apocalyptic future shit. I don't know. No, not post-apocalyptic. That's all right. That was dumb. Like sort of futuristic, but sort of in the past.
Yeah.
And a lot of bright fucking colors.
Right.
And they all just look ridiculous. But Kramer just is kind of dressed like a local town drunk.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
yeah, he totally is.
So he's the only one who looked normal. But at the time, they were like, "Well, get a load of this guy."
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's what everybody looks like now.
I want to make like a cartoon. If any artists, you should draw this for me. I want it to be like like the first panel is like hands holding a photograph, and it's a group of friends in the 80s, and their hair's all crazy, and they're dressed like they're in the 80s, and they just look fucking ridiculous. And the word bubble is like, can you believe we used to dress like that? And everyone's like, oh my god. And then it shows them holding it, but they're all like hipsters.
Yeah.
With like obvious hipster shit going on, and they're
Right.
like, not now. No, not this though.
I know.
This is forever. We're going to look like this forever. But look how crazy we were then.
We went to
So any artists, please.
we got invited to this when I lived in Colorado. This is like 90s, like mid to late 90s, and one of my buddies got invited from this guy at work to this 80s party. He's like, so just dress like 80s, Now we're all like, all right, so we all dress like punk rock guys, right?
Yeah.
Well, every single person at this party, with the exception of the four of us, were dressed like Dan Aykroyd at the beginning of Trading Places.
Yeah, like
the sweater around your shoulders and
yeah.
it's folded through, and like the white pants, like
finance guys.
yeah, every single one. But they were all 10 years older than us too.
Yeah.
We were by far the youngest guys at the party, and we were like, that was kind of awkward.
That's a funny reflection of like who you guys actually are.
Yeah, I know.
Like you're the young punks who show up to the nice frat party.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. It was fucking hilarious. We all like spray painted we all like put mohawks on and fucking like spray painted our hair like blue and red.
Yeah. Just like fucking Motley Crue.
Yeah, and these guys are all fucking dressed like
Wall Street.
Yeah, totally like Wall Street.
Yeah, dude, that is a culture. There's a sect of white people who is like, no, those are white people. Like there's white people and then there's fucking white people.
Yeah.
It's like kind of the reverse Chris Rock joke. And like I through other dealings in life, I hobnob with some of these people sometimes, and like you go over to the house, and the house is already beautiful and brand new. And, like, dude, it's like a uniform. It's the checkered button-up with, like, some pleated-ass pants.
Yep.
A fucking Apple Watch.
Yep.
And leather shoes with little to no laces.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I
Either
know.
no laces or the laces that are just, like, decorative. And, like, dude, it's like a uniform these people wear. It's great.
Yeah.
And it's like being the spiky-haired kid at the party.
Right.
It's like
right.
you look at them and you're like, God, you guys are weird.
Yeah, I know.
But it's just funny, like that whole world, like that's the modern, like American Psycho with the business card.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a big deal to them.
Hey.
What? You're fine.
Yeah,
Is that
you're
why
good.
you're staring at me? No, I don't. She's just like looking at me all creeped out. I'm like, what? What happened out there?
Did you see the cop too?
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, it's just different cultures.
Definitely. When I was down in Florida, we did Christmas lighting for everyone around the holiday from like October to February. Like from October to December 23rd, we set up lights, and then starting on like January 5th, we started taking lights down. And it's big money, like huge fucking money down there. Yeah, enormous. Like people pay like.
Oh, because it's like a lot of older people
Well, yeah.
who don't want to do it.
Yeah, and they all have money.
Yeah.
So like these people pay. Dude, some of these people pay like $20,000 for us to hang lights at their house.
Yeah, dude. Because then
For
it becomes
fucking 3 weeks.
it becomes an ego trip.
And they don't even. And
Yeah.
they're not even their lights. We rent the lights to them,
Yeah, it's
and then we
decorative.
come back and take them.
It's an ego trip for the neighbors.
Yeah, it's
You know what I mean?
crazy.
Yeah,
It's nuts.
It becomes a competition.
But a lot of the people there were dressed exactly like you said, like
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah,
they
yeah.
all have tons of money.
I bet all those dudes.
Dude,
Yeah.
There was this one cul-de-sac where I had to go there like 3 different times because there was 6 houses in the cul-de-sac, and it was right on the intercoastal, which is like the inlet of the Atlantic Ocean, like around like the West Palm Beach area. And there's a security guard that's like, it's all a gated community, but this particular cul-de-sac is like the extra rich people. And the security guard comes up and he's like, hey, what's going on? Because it was like dark out, And I was going there because like they had a whole section of lights that went out. Like it was like 10 trees like along this one line of their yard. And he's like, hey, can I help you? What's going on? I'm like, I'm here to fix the lights. The lights are out. He's like, oh, the light man. What's going on, buddy? Starts talking to me. He goes, you know that every fucking person in these 6 houses is a billionaire?
Wow.
And I was like, no, I didn't, but I'm not surprised because all the guys seem to be 80 years old and all their wives seem to be 32. So I'm not shocked. The one lady, she was like 35 years old. She looked like she was fucking 19.
Yeah.
Like, she was ridiculously hot. And every time that we came to do the lights, there was this one part of the yard where we had to go to get to the electrical. She would take a shower every time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, because that's her thing. She's,
Yeah.
she's got to be devious in other ways.
Right.
And
Dude,
her yeah.
this girl was so fucking hot, too. Like, and she'd just be in the shower, and she'd be like, yeah, she'd, like, wave at you. She didn't
Really?
Dude, she did not care. Like, she just like, yes, they're looking at me. Like, I was like, this is fucking amazing. I mean, this fucking woman was beautiful.
Yeah.
Like,
And she's got to show it off.
yeah. And, and then her husband came home this one day when I was doing some work there, and I was like, who the fuck is that guy? And he's like, that's her husband. And I was like, I mean, are you serious? Like, I mean, he was nothing short of 80.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he could barely even get around. Like,
For sure. It's
I
just,
was like, oh my God.
I think at that point, he just wants arm candy.
Sure.
It makes him like the big man at the country club. You know what I mean?
She was super cool, too. Like, I had to talk to her a few different times. She was super cool, very intelligent. Like, you know, she knew what the fuck she was doing.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was
Like,
America, bitch.
She wasn't some like bimbo like you would kind of like think,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
wasn't like that at all. Like, I was like, this bitch could probably be fucking making
Yeah.
a shit ton of money herself if, but all she did all day, every day was play tennis, which is
Yeah.
why she looked like that, because she just played tennis. Like, fucking, she had tennis lessons and tennis matches for 6 hours, 6 days a week.
Wow.
I know.
Hey, man, maybe she was like going to be a tennis pro, and then he just took her off the tour.
Right.
Said, I'll take you away from this.
Maybe she was the tennis pro. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But,
that's great, man.
Yeah. And, I was like, holy shit. And, like, we had to get on the roofs of all these places. All of the houses were 3 stories, which is really
Probably hot
rare.
as fuck up there, too, right?
Well, not in,
Oh, yeah,
like-
because you're doing it like Christmas time.
yeah, we're doing it in November and December. I mean, it was still warm,
Yeah, yeah.
but I'll tell you what, you could see for fucking, like, miles out over the intercoastal and the
big-ass
ocean,
house,
like,
yeah.
because they were all, like, three stories high, which is, like, really rare down in Florida. Like, that's, you don't really find those. But these places were just, There's fucking 30 or 40 rooms in each one. Like, each one has 8 bathrooms. And, like, you know what I mean?
Giant. Yeah, man. Dude, money is... it's just a different world.
It really is.
Like, you
it's
go into
just
it,
weird.
like, oh, shit.
Yeah. They're cool, though. Like, and, like, these houses, too, like, they'd be, like, they'd come out. Like, we'd have, like, 8 or 10 guys there. They'd come out like around 11 a.m. We'd already be there for 3 or 4 hours working, because it would take us like a whole day to do their house with like 8 guys, because these houses, first of all, are so big, and because they're doing fucking $20,000 in lights.
Yeah.
Like an average house would be like $2,500 to maybe $5,000.
And it's, you know what it is, dude? It's you picture there's this hot one over here, the tennis one is over here.
Yeah.
And then there's another girl who's like into horses or some shit.
Yep.
And they look back across the street at each other and kind of like give the stink eye but
Yeah,
wave, and
right.
they're fighting with the lights.
Yep.
Like that's
They
their
totally
whole
are,
game.
dude.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But these people were super cool. Like, they'd come out and, like around like 11 a.m. and they'd be like, and things are looking good, guys. You guys are really getting there. What do you guys want for lunch? And they'd be like, here are your options. And they'd give us like 4 different menus. And they'd be
Nice.
like, everyone, like, pick what you want.
Yeah, yeah.
And they'd order us like a shit ton of food. And then at the end of the day, they'd be like, they'd come back out and they'd give everybody $100 tip. Like, it was fucking cool as fuck. Like, I was like,
I
dude,
be
these...
fucking gregarious.
Like,
Isn't that
I was
what
like,
that
this
word
is-
means?
Yeah.
I don't know. But
It was great, though. Like,
we're not city folk. That's yeah, dude. That's amazing. It is like when you go into those worlds and you're like I've said, like, we stayed at the penthouse.
mm-hmm.
But like it's because like we travel a lot and we do a lot of shit with cards, so we always have like points. So it's like, all right, and it's just the two of us, like, all right, yeah, we'll get an upgrade if it's
Yeah.
another fucking little bit of money.
sure.
But then I walk in
Yeah.
and like the people behind the desk are like, he must have like invented an app or something.
Yeah.
So I'm just young. I'm wearing Jordans. I'm obviously very high. And I'm not even trying to hide it, just smiling. I'm just like, hi.
Hi.
Got big ass
Yeah,
headphones
we
on.
got the sweet spot. We got the sweet spot. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, who the fuck is this guy? He shouldn't be in the penthouse. Turn the alarm on.
Turn the alarm on.
That's why they did that.
That's great.
Yeah, man. That's old. That's old money.
Yeah. So.
I ain't happy, I'm feeling glad I got sunshine. In a bag I'm useless, but not for all the future is coming on. Ain't happy, I'm feeling glad I got sunshine. In a bag I'm useless, but not for all the future is coming on, it's coming on, it's coming on. Finally, someone let me out of my cage. And now time for me is nothing, cause I'm counting no age. Now I couldn't be there, now you shouldn't be scared. I'm good at repairs, and I'm under each snare. Intangible, but you didn't think, so I command you to. Panoramic view, look, I make it all manageable. Pick and choose, sit and lose, all your different crews. Chicks and dudes, who you think is really kicking tunes. Picture you getting down in a picture tube, like you lit the fuse. You think it's fictional, mystical, maybe spiritual, a hero who appears to clear your view of you, and you're too crazy, lifeless. There is a definition of what life is, priceless to you, because I put you on the hype shit. You like it, gun smoking, righteous with one toke. You psychic among those, possess you with one. I ain't happy, feeling glad I got sunshine. In a bag I'm useless, not for all the future is coming on. I ain't happy, I'm feeling glad I got sunshine. In a bag I'm useless, not for all the Without you, you make it. Allow me to make this childlike a nature. Rhythm, you have it or you don't. That's a fallacy. I'm in every sprouting tree, every child of peace, every cloud I see. You see with your eyes, I see destruction and demise, corruption in disguise from this fucking enterprise. Now I'm something to your lies. The rustle, those muscles, the percussion he provides. For me, it's a guide. Y'all can't see me now cause you don't see with your eyes. You perceive with your mind, and that's the inner. So I'ma stick around with Russ and be a mentor. Bust a few rhymes so motherfuckers remember where the thought is. I brought all this so you can survive when the law is lawless. Feeling sensations that you thought were dead. Now squealing and remember that it's all in your head.
Did tons of things like that. It was pretty fucking cool. The worst part was like climbing all the way up the. Well, let me reiterate. The worst
heights is not. I don't do that shit.
See, I would always do it, and I was brought into this company to run all the crews.
Yeah.
And so I'm running all these crews, and like I'm the only white guy. First of all. And secondly, like, they're all, like, from, like, the hood. Like, almost everyone that I worked with had been shot numerous times.
Wow.
Yeah, one guy had been shot 23 times.
That's who's giving you
23 times.
Wow.
I'm like,
that's who's giving you your holiday joy.
He pulled up his shirt one day. I was like, put your shirt back on. Because it was just a giant scar. Like, I was like, what the fuck, dude? How are you alive?
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So then, so like on the first day, I just picked the biggest fucking tree and I climbed all the way to the top of it. Like the biggest palm tree that I could find in the yard, and I fucking went all the way to the top of it and did it. And everyone was just like, all right, mad respect, dude. Like, and they had my back the rest of the time. Like, all of these guys. Yeah, dude. Like, I was like, I know how to get these guys, Yeah. And
it's like how you become the leader of the pack when you're like 10.
I know.
Like,
well,
did you see that tree?
Well, exactly. I mean, I knew who and what I was dealing with here. So
you take your bike off a shitty little ramp.
Yep.
They're like, whoa.
Yeah.
He got both tires off the ground.
Dude. They were like, because like half of them were like, dude, I don't do heights. And I'm like, what?
You've been shot 23 times.
Yeah, I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, dude, we get in a gunfight, I'll be fucking at the front line, but I ain't going up that tree.
Well, they put you in charge because they're like, somebody's got to talk to the cops. We need a white guy to talk to the cops. Put him in charge.
Well, they would always, like, because we would do interiors of houses sometimes, too, and they'd be like, yo, Chris, they need the white guy. And I'm like, what do you mean they need the white guy? They'd be like, they want us to come in and do some shit. They don't want us in that house. I was like, you guys, if they fucking said that you can go in, you can go in. They're like, we ain't going in there. Something's going to go missing. Then it's going to be our fault. Fuck that. Send the white guy.
That's.
I'm like, all right. So I'd go in and I'd talk to them. And then, like, their first question, a lot of them would be like, do you speak English? And I'd be like, yes. Then they'd be like, okay, cool. We didn't want to have to go get the maid. I'm like, what the fuck? But that's how it really was down there. You're in South Florida, man. Like, like if you're not bilingual, it's almost impossible to get a job.
Of course, yeah, of course.
So,
that's
it was
so funny.
It was really funny, man.
So hilarious that's who's like bringing your holiday cheer to your family.
Yeah.
Is a fucking Haitian dude who's been shot 23 times.
Right.
Bunch of gangbangers.
Dude, these guys were totally gangbangers.
Yeah.
Like they were always like this one dude was like, he's like, Chris, you strapped today? I'm like, we're going to work on a billionaire's house in a gated community. What do I need a gun for?
Yeah, we're putting up Christmas lights.
He's like, you never know what's gonna go down, man. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure nothing's gonna go down.
Well, if it did.
It was fucking. It was fun. Yeah, I know. I'm like, well, aren't all 6 of you strapped? They're like, fuck yeah. And I'm like, oh,
All
I'm
right,
good.
yeah.
I'll just stand behind you guys.
Yeah.
Plus, you guys obviously don't mind getting shot, so.
Don't mind it. But by like the 20th one, you're probably just like, oh, shot again. God damn it.
He got shot 8 times on one occasion.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like,
they're
what
all
the
in
fuck?
trunks.
I'm like, dude. His name was Cam. I remember he was just like, I was like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? Like, I'm like, don't you know to get down when bullets start flying? He's like, I don't know, dude.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
That's funny, man. That's who's bringing holiday cheer to the people.
Uh-huh. Yep. So, good times. Good times. I saw one of them. we were doing these small palm trees, like, on the water. Like right on the water of this like golf course, which I did not like doing because there's fucking gators, you know.
Yeah, for real.
So I'd always be like fucking. So we'd always like leave one guy not do anything and just be like, you're on gator watch, even though like people that live down there are like, you're being an idiot, you know. Like I'm like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
You know, like I ain't from here, and I see gators all the time down here. Like, not all the time, but I saw them relatively frequently.
Yeah, one is good.
Right.
You're like, that's enough gators to eat me. It's not like they need to team up.
So, like, and this dude fucking, he was like the leader of a gang before he started doing this, him and this other guy. Well, the other guy thought that he was banging his woman. He put a fucking gun in his mouth and pulled the trigger.
Oh.
So he had a hole in the back of his neck where the bullet came out. He was in a coma for 3 fucking months. All the teeth on the right side of his mouth and half his tongue were missing. Were gone because of this. So we're climbing up this tree. All of a sudden, he screams like a bitch and jumps out of the ladder and starts running. And I'm like, yo, where are you going, dude? He's like, there's a snake. I think there's a snake up there. I'm like, someone put a fucking gun in your mouth and pulled the trigger. You're afraid of a little snake because it was like the size of a gardener snake.
Yeah.
Like, which it turned out to be a fucking iguana, and it was just the tail.
Okay. Yeah.
But still,
Who cares? Yeah.
that's nothing compared to someone sticking a fucking loaded gun in your mouth
Pulling the trigger.
and pulling the trigger.
Like, you cheated death, motherfucker.
Yeah, you were in a coma for 3 months. You should be dead.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing that you're not dead.
And he's what he thought was a snake. I don't do snakes.
I don't do snakes. That's what he said. He's like, Chris, I ain't fucking around. I don't do snakes, motherfucker.
That's so
like,
funny.
I was like, all right, buddy, no problem. He's like, you see a snake, you fucking tell me, man, because I'm out of here.
All right.
He's like, day over.
You take care of the guy with the gun if we see one. I'll take care of the snake. Fair trade.
Fair trade. Yeah. I was like, what the fuck is going on right now? But those guys were a lot of fun to work with. They were fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
You know,
They just don't give a fuck anymore.
like I don't think a lot of people could have fucking really handled it because they were straight up gangbangers. You know,
Yeah.
But like, I kind
Dude,
of liked
that's a
it.
fucking sitcom and a half right there.
I know,
You in charge of all these gangbangers,
right?
Just like you know, culture clash. You're from like the sleepy little sailing town.
I was still the captain.
Still the captain. Yo, Cap. They gotta start calling you Papa Cap.
Papa Cap in his ass. So
that's still so fun to act the halls with pals of just a family sitting around at Christmas, like, oh, the lights are beautiful. And,
Yeah.
like, kids and they're taking pictures. And
Yeah.
like, the guy who put it up has no tongue.
yeah, he had a half a tongue.
Half tongue. Did he sound weird?
No, he talked for the most part normal. I mean, they all talked a little slang, you know, like kind of. So
but he didn't have like a speech impediment.
No,
from,
no,
you know,
no.
Having a hole in the center of his head,
right.
going out the back, through
Right.
the whole. Yeah, it didn't like whistle or anything.
No.
He just opens his mouth and you see the light come through.
No. Yeah, I mean these guys were wild. They were pretty cool though. Like, I mean they were fucked up.
Yeah,
but they were
dude.
cool.
Why were you raising your hand?
Wanted know where they lived. That they
Oh,
were,
where they live?
Where's
Where?
everyone like?
They all lived in Riverside.
Yeah.
Oh,
And they get into this gated. I mean, it is like like they're getting into this gated community where billionaires are.
Yeah.
And they're in the dude's house.
Yeah.
Like, immediately you'd be like, I'm gonna take some shit.
Right.
Like, fuck them. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, you take some shit they won't even notice.
Right. They never did though.
And this guy's hot wife is showing herself off to these guys.
Dude, yeah, in the one house that we had, we were fucking doing it inside, and this dude had this fucking. This girl had to either be like 17 or 18 years old, and all of a sudden,
42.
and no, this is the daughter.
Oh, this is his daughter.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, the one dude is like, "Yo, Chris." And I'm like, what, dude, what? He's like, look at that shit. And we had already commented on, God damn, he's got a hot daughter, you know,
Yeah.
and I look over and she's fucking in the back fucking taking her fucking top off to lay out. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I'm like, I hope that girl's 18.
It's like an 80s movie.
So there she is, just fucking laying topless. Then all of a sudden the dad gets home and I see her like rushing to get her fucking top back on.
Oh, Jesus. So she wasn't doing it on purpose like the other one.
I don't think so. Like, I think that she was really just trying to get a tan and, like, probably didn't, like, know that we were, like, right
I
there.
realized there was you and a bunch of fucking gangbangers standing there.
Yeah, like,
Yo,
I was
Chris.
just like, well, yeah, yo, Chris, look. I'm like, what, dude? Whoa. We shouldn't be looking at that.
Man, that guy would really not like that story.
So, yeah, it was good stuff.
Hey, man, different strokes, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Man, I had some good times down there.
I was at Elmwood Taco Burrito. What the fuck? EBT? Is it called EBT? That sounds like something different. It's a taco place on Elmwood, and it was during Porch Fest. And I'm sitting at the counter in the window, and a girl walked by with a bird on her shoulder, like a parrot.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a cockatoo. I don't know. I don't know my birds.
Yeah.
It was pink, and she's walking down the street with it, and it's like on a leash, and it's on her shoulder.
What?
And she's like this hipster chick, and like people are looking at it.
Of course.
Yes, of course, and like taking pictures. And I saw her make a face like, like, okay, fine, take a picture.
Yeah.
What, you've never seen a parrot before?
Right.
And it's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to make this ironic. You're doing this to get attention. You're
For
wearing a
sure.
fucking bird on your shoulder.
Yeah.
And like people look, like you got this beautiful pink exotic bird, and
Yeah.
people look at it, and she's like, oh, come on, what is it special? Like we're supposed to just, that's what they want.
Yeah.
They want to do something crazy to make them interesting, but then they want us to all just be like, yes, of course you have a bird on your shoulder.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we're in fucking in like New Zealand or something like that.
Yeah, I guess. Yo, Chris, I don't do cockatoos, man.
Cockatoos.
This bitch got to do cockatoo. I do have a chicken though. That's a bird, right?
Sure is.
It's more of like a weird little cow, I think.
A weird little cow.
Because they don't fly; they just kind of hang out in the yard and eat grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny to watch people. Like I'll see people out the window, like some lady's walking and she's got her fucking Fitbit on and she's doing a walk, and then she kind of looks to the side and then looks like scared for a second because there's just this weird orange thing like scraping in the dirt, and it looks up at her and it's like, she's like, what the fuck? Like I've seen it so many times. It's so funny. Fucking get some chickens out in the field over here. There's be chickens everywhere.
There should be. Actually, there was the other day.
Like a turkey or something?
No, there was all kinds of shit because they had a petting zoo going on.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Next door
Yeah.
the other day. So there was ponies. There was like
Goats and shit?
yeah, there was like 3 different goats. There was 2 different, 1 pony and 1 horse. A whole bunch of different kinds of birds. Like there was a couple ducks, chickens. I think a goose, and there's just all these little kids. Can I pet the little one? Can I pet that one? It was pretty cool though.
It's
It
a
was
petting
cool that they're
zoo.
doing that. Yeah.
That's what it is. It's called a petting zoo.
Yep.
Once we call it a petting zoo, that's what you're allowed to pet it.
Yep.
Let's just get that out of the way. Stop asking.
Well, they were like 4.
Yeah. You just talk to another guy. You're like, no, you don't pet the kids. That's not what this is. You stop. Who is that?
Who is that guy? So, yep.
They have goats and shit. You ever look a goat in the eyes, man?
Actually, the guy that I was working for doing the Christmas lighting had a fucking goat, and it died, and I had to bury it for him because the whole family was like really broken up about it.
Yeah.
So I had to, I'm like, dude, you gotta be kidding. I'm like, how deep do I have to dig? Like, and he's like, I don't know, like 6 feet, and I'm like, 6 feet.
Do you know what that is?
So like, well, dude, so I started digging, and I'm like, it took me like 20 minutes, not even, to dig like a big 6-foot hole because it's all sand.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because it's Florida. I was like, at first, like, I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And then I was like, whoosh, and the shovel just went like all the way down, and I was like, all right, I got this.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's how like they cook them. Like that's like Hawaiian and shit. Like they dig a hole and fill it full of like coal or some burning rocks. And
Yeah.
they bury a
I've
pig
done that.
and cook it. Yeah,
I've done that. Yeah.
You didn't do that to the dude's goat?
No.
They're like seasoning it, and they're all tearing because it's their family pet.
No, yeah. You use like banana leaves and hot rocks and fucking throw a pig in there. And
Yeah.
it's fucking awesome. And then you just leave it there overnight. And
We
the
made
next
a
day
thing.
you come back and fucking dig it up, and it's all fucking cooked and ready to roll.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I know.
We made these little like, what kind of leaf was that? Was it a bamboo leaf? These little wraps we made on like 4th of July. And it was like rice and pork and like seasonings and other veggies put in, and you tie them up with tie it like a little bow.
Yep.
And then you steam them, and they were fucking awesome. But like a lot of people weren't eating them because like they just, people are used to fucking hot dogs and fucking cheeseburgers. Like we're making this crazy exotic Asian shit.
Yeah.
And they thought they're like, is that like decoration? Those candles? What the fuck is that?
What is that stuff?
You have to like open it up, like they're like, oh, there's food in there.
There's food.
Yeah.
It's magic.
Yeah. Where's the bun?
Yeah, so I mean, good times.
Yeah, that's funny. I think that would be a great reality show. Was you in charge of all these guys? And then just like all the girls are just getting naked all the time.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like an 80s comedy.
All right.
Like, yo, Chris. And then you look over and there's like, bow, bow. Bow, bow.
It's Rebecca De Mornay.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. And then we could have everybody dressed like the guys at the party with the sweater fest.
Yeah, exactly.
That's coming back. It's weird how like there's like a lot of hipsters and shit are dressing like I don't know, like very 91-ish. 91 home movies. It's like a big wacky mustache and a haircut that looks like it's uncomfortable on the head.
Yeah.
Like it just looked like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Just clothes that look uncomfortable. Like fucking Jerry Seinfeld had the tightest jeans and the biggest blouse shirts
I know.
ever. Everybody looked ridiculous.
Yep.
I don't know, man. Fashion.
I
It's
know.
not my world.
Not mine either. Not good at it.
Dude, going to like fashion district things in like cities in like Europe and shit. Like it's like it looks like if you're like on movies about movies, like Hollywood movies when they're on the soundstage and there's all these like different looking people walking around. Like it looks like I'm playing some rustic old fucking woodworker. And then there's a guy from the future. It's like, you guys aren't even in the same fucking 200-year period. With the fucking sharp glasses and shit.
Yeah.
With that, and that all comes over here. It just takes time. We're still up in the past.
Speaking of the past, I went to Ransomville today.
Exactly. They're even further back.
They're a lot further back. Like, I was like, what the fuck? I don't know what the heck is going on out there, but...
Nothing, I guess. I don't know. I can't remember the last time I've been out there. Maybe to buy chicken feed.
They have a bank.
That's cool. Let's go rob it.
We don't have a bank.
All right. Yeah. Let's go rob their bank. Because I think everyone will be like, just take it.
Just take it.
It's like $2,600 in there. You can have it. It's still, yeah.
Well, they got Kaipo Motors out there, and that's like $1 million a year account.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right on.
Right. So we could, we could get Kaipo money.
We can get them to sponsor us?
Maybe.
Go out there. Go to Ransomville. You're going to want to get the fuck out, so go there and buy a car.
Their head mechanic is the Hammer.
The Hammer?
Yeah, he's my buddy.
Oh, I thought like the wrestler? Is there a wrestler named something the Hammer?
I don't know. Oh, yeah. Greg the Hammer Valentine?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. He's a fucking mechanic in Ransomville now.
Yeah.
His life took a.
Speaking of the 80s, I'm
a
pretty
weird
sure
left,
that's when
yeah.
that guy wrestled.
Why is he called the Hammer?
My buddy?
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, I mean, strangely enough, he's a mechanic, and about the only tool you don't use being a mechanic is a hammer.
Yeah.
So, we were playing volleyball one time, and one of our mutual friends, who's goofy, was playing, and he went up for a spike and like really like hammered it down, and he was like, "Whoa, hammer!" He's like, "You almost got me."
And from that day on.
And then from that day on, his nickname was then the Hammer, and that was like 15 years ago.
That's funny.
So yeah, he doesn't use a hammer for anything.
I'm trying to think of like any good nicknames. I can't like when you talk about your high school days. It sounds like a fucking 80s movie again.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I don't know if I had anybody had a cool nickname. I don't know.
all my friends had fucking nicknames.
Everybody was just last names.
Yeah, well, we had that too, but everyone had nicknames too.
Like there's so many people who have no idea that my first name isn't Thurman.
Yeah,
Like there's people who
think
are
that's
listening
true.
to this who are just like, what?
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's fine. I
Right.
don't care. Yeah. You can't find me.
You can't find me.
Can't find me. I can blend into a crowd of Thurmans. They're everywhere.
They are.
I did have a story. I don't know if we were. I think we had to have been in high school. There was this spot called Thug's Mansion. It's on the side of Suicide Hill, and it was just like, dude, it was heaven back then. But it's literally just a dirt patch on the side of a hill in the fucking woods. There's like a little trail that goes down there, and somebody like put a little platform in the tree and made like a rope swing. It didn't like go out to water, but it was a really steep hill, so you just swing out and then back on up the hill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was pretty fun, and it was just a place to go smoke weed and drink beers. And we're sitting there one day, and we start just trying to throw rocks at a tree. That's what we were doing. Like, let's see if we can hit that tree. For just hours, just chucking rocks.
Right.
And throwing big rocks. And then, like, my buddy threw a huge one, and we heard it fucking, like, hit, like, concrete, like the ground. And we heard it clap, and then we heard, like, what the fuck? And unbeknownst to us, like outside of the woods right down there, they were building like it's all developments now.
Right.
They were building new shit, and there was like a whole bunch of dudes outside with like their little kid was on a bike.
Oh,
like
Jesus.
the dude's like daughter was like rolling around on like a big wheel or some shit.
Yeah.
And like I think they were hanging out and drinking. I'm pretty sure the dude was drinking.
Okay.
We heard fucking
The fuck?
we heard, and then we look down and we see a guy poke his head up the thing and point right at us. And go like, fucking stay there. And we're like, oh shit. And like we hear a fucking truck start from down there and pull up. We could hear the truck just pulling up the hill, and we're like just sitting there. Like we should have just fucking taken off, but we really didn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
And like we were kind of like, what the fuck? We're all stoned out of our minds too. And this dude comes down, and my buddy's standing up, and the dude just pushes him to the ground. We're like 17 maybe. These
Yeah.
are grown-ups.
Right.
And we're like, he's gonna kill him. Like, dude, he came at him hard.
Yeah.
Like he was gonna kill him. My buddy's on the ground just like, stop, please stop. Because we're always like high and trying to be polite, I guess. And like I'm sitting on my skateboard, and my friend's next to me sitting on his skateboard, and we look at each other like, we might have to take these skateboards and hit this man about the head.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna kill our friend,
Right.
And then his other buddy calmed him down, and like we talked, like we were off to the side talking, and with his other friends, and we're like, dude, we didn't fucking know there were you guys were down. Look around. I'm like, dude, look it. Can you see anything? No, we thought we were in the fucking woods throwing rocks. We didn't think anybody was around.
Right.
So yeah, he calmed him down. But Jesus Christ, that kind of got me nervous right there. I'm like, they're still following us.
They're still
It
following
was
us.
scary. We were kids, and these adults were like coming to kill us in the woods.
Right.
Yeah. So if you're throwing rocks, make sure you know where they're landing. And
Clink,
if you're
clink,
throwing them at people, you gotta at least hit the people. And headshots, man, we gotta make it count, because you gotta get the fuck out of there before they wake up.
What the fuck?
Yeah, don't just throw them like towards people. Throw them at people.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So that was scary. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Captain's jug of thoughts.
Yep.
Keep spreading the word. Keep telling people. Tell your friends.
Yep. Remember all the shows that are coming up?
Yeah, just check the internet. I mean, goddamn, Zuckerberg got us again.
I know.
I would love there to be a place I mean, you can do. I have a website. I could put a calendar up with it, but everyone's going to be like, where do I go? I can't just go
Yeah.
to Facebook. You were going to it anyways.
Right. Well, August 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and August 16th, 17th, and 18th.
Yes.
Those are the big dates.
Yeah.
So
A
we'll just go there, and you should go there too.
a fun August indeed.
That's for sure.
And watch out for rocks out there.
Yep.
This next one's a newer one. Bevo Box. Thank you very much. Once again, we're irregardless.